Welcome to the Nursing Dose with your host, Farah, aka Dr. Laurent. And today, y'all, oh my goodness, today I have the precious L. Williams, the queen of pitching herself, the Rainmaking speaker, Miss Precious L. Williams. She is a powerhouse speaker, hails from St. Louis, Missouri, right?
You already know. You already know.
But resides in Brooklyn, my old
Brooklyn.
So such an honor and pleasure. If you want to say hello and introduce yourself, y'all, she doesn't need an intro, but go ahead, introduce yourself.
Hey everyone, my name is Precious Williams. I am the proud founder and CEO of the Perfect Pitch Group. I am that fun gal about town. I am not what you call demure, very cutesy. I am a bad bitch with a power pitch. I'm an international professional speaker, five-time #1 bestselling author, top Fortune 100 corporate sales trainer, and I love showing companies how to make it rain like snow in their businesses. I used to be known affectionately as a killer pitch master, but there's something about being a rainmaker, especially for companies, corporations, foundations, nonprofits, and private associations, as well as individuals. I started speaking at 16. I am now, yes, the doll is 45. And I love that I can be authentically me, yet still professional, still show you how to bait, attract, and close with ease, and still be that full-figure diva and plus size fashionista.
Yes, you guys are in for a treat. I'm telling you, Precious, she is the real deal. And if you guys are watching out there, don't be shy. Drop in some comments.
Drop them comments.
Let us know where you're watching from, what city, what country, any comments you have. And today we're going to be talking about basically life's a pitch, right? All things pitching. So, before we get into that, I just want to say I had the honor of meeting you in New Jersey at a small business conference, and it was amazing. I got to witness the actual power of her speaking, and she just captivated the whole room. It was such an honor to meet you in person. You are amazing.
Thank you, Queen. Thank you. But it takes a queen to recognize another queen.
Real recognize real. Okay.
I mean, I said only the real can relate.
So let's get into it. So kind of talk to me about, I say life's a pitch, and I read all her books, by the way. Go to her website.
You mean all of these?
Yes.
Is that a shameless plug? Baby, if you know nothing about pitching, always be ready.
Always be ready. So talk to them about why life's a pitch and, why you're always pitching when you don't even know it.
Yes. Okay. So life's a pitch. Come on now. I think when I first started pitching, people thought it was just Shark Tank. Like, oh, you just need maybe a media pitch, an investor pitch, or an elevator pitch. But no one was really talking about how to craft it so that it fits your personality, your brand, and yet it also attracts your target market. And so when I started pitching, it was by necessity. No one thought a 327-pound woman could start a lingerie company. And so I got so many no's and then realized I must be pitching to the wrong audience. And it wasn't until I got the opportunity to pitch before the producers of a major network that I instantly understood I had been pitching to the wrong people at the time. I was supposed to be pitching to investors. I was supposed to be pitching to the media because there was something very unique about a 327-pound woman who is not a singer, not a dancer, not an actress, not an entertainment, but who saw that there was a need and could actually provide for it. I was dating a very famous Hollywood actor at the time. Yes, 327, get it how you live. That's how you come to kill a pitch master. Because if I can snatch him up, what makes you think I can't snatch you? Anyway, but then I thought about when people only think of pitching in one way, let's show them how that you do it in your everyday life. So I'm going to dispel one thing really quickly. A pitch does not require you to stand up and bellow loud about your company. A pitch is a little bit more subtle than that. You have your conversational pitches, but you also have 6 different types of pitches, and we'll discuss that later. But what you want to do in your pitch is say something short, sweet, succinct, that truly makes you the only choice that matters. So if you think about talking about that no good man, no good woman in your life, the boss you love or hate, this idea you've been thinking about in your mind, you're talking it over with others and you want them to become invested in it and talking to you about it. You're the main character. What you're thinking about, you want them to be thinking about it with you and hopefully get excited and want to be a part of it with you. So when you think about pitching, most of us are pitching ideas. Most of us are pitching businesses. Most of us are pitching ourselves for promotions or pitching ourselves for opportunities. So it doesn't matter if you're in corporate America, nonprofit, if you want to start your own company or you want to grow and expand, we all need pitches. College students, high school students who are trying to get into a program or college or fellowships or internships, they need it. So I hope this is showing you how we're expanding the thought process. Instead of having people tell me, everybody don't need to know how to pitch. No, everybody doesn't need to know how to pitch like they're on Shark Tank. But you could be sitting next to someone on a plane. You could be sitting next to someone eating lunch and you all get to just talking about something and you happen to bring up something that excites you. And now they're excited. You might slide in something about the company or something new that you want to be bringing out. Now they're excited. And you never know if that's your customer right there, your next client, your next referral. So I hope y'all understand most of the things that I have, and Dr. Farah, you know this, most of the speaking engagements I have around the world come from people saying my name, my network, constantly looking for opportunities for me. And they understand that life's a pitch. And while you can do a lot on your own, and I had to for years, it's so much better when your network understands what you do, listens for opportunities, and knows how to pitch you, which equals to what? Making it rain like in your business and giving you the impact you thought of all the time.
Right. And this is so important, especially because, I talk to all the nurses out there. As a nurse career coach, I talk to them about the importance of really promoting themselves and having these conversations, right? Where a lot of times they're too shy to articulate their value, whether they're in an interview or, like you said, maybe applying to a nursing program. They just they get too shy. And they're like, well, I don't want to sound like I'm bragging. And I'm like, well, do you want the position or not? Like, you have to come prepared, I
mean, can we talk about it? It ain't bragging if it's true.
Right.
How many times have y'all noticed that they'll talk about certain people in business or in careers and they'll run down their bio and you're over here like, yeah, no one's batting an eye. You see, I'm going to say what I'm doing because it might not be obvious. There are people who want to throw statistics and stereotypes on me that have nothing to do with me. Number one, I don't have any children. Number two, I'm not married. Number three, I don't live in the projects. Number four, I have a terminal degree. I'm a former attorney in the great state of New York. Yes. I have been a professional for a very long time as a speaker, as an attorney, and now training sales teams, training those at law firms, Ivy League institutions, PWIs, top HBCUs. But that wouldn't have happened had I allowed people to dictate the narrative on me. And that's what's great about pitching is you can change the narrative and dispel things. Oh, what high school did you go to? As if that matters at 45.
Exactly.
What does that matter?
I'm so glad you brought this up because so for all the nursing students, let's say out there who are maybe pre-nursing students that are looking to get into some schools, right?
Yes.
Save your money. If you have the money, great. But like I went to a university in Ontario in Canada.
I was there. Okay. I was recently there.
I know you love the Canadians. And then I left. I went to New York. They told me I would never be an ER nurse, that I didn't have enough experience, that I should go to some other area, which they tell all nurses. So I'm here to always change that narrative and tell new students and new grads, you can go wherever you want to go. Like, hello, have you heard there's a nursing shortage? Like, have you heard?
That's what I heard. But I thought the doctor would tell me if that's true.
Right. And then they're like the recruiters, which I just did a post about today. Half of them are not even nurses. They're, in HR. So they don't really understand the skills of nurses, what they bring, their past experience. And they keep telling them, well, you don't have any experience. I'm like, wait a minute. what happened to all the 4 years of clinical, right? So I tell them to come prepared to really articulate that worth and to say, yeah, I do come with experience, even though I'm a new nurse. I got experience, and it's just a matter of articulating it and being confident in what you're saying, right? So how does that confidence come through? I know, people don't just wake up like this sometimes, right? But
oh no, like I might have woke up and was 45 and thought I was 16. No. So for real, my confidence took on a new meaning when I no longer had to fake it. I am her. But in order to get here, I had to be comfortable with the things that I have done that have demonstrated excellence and being able to pull that to the fore. So some of you all as new nurses, maybe you don't have like the experience in the field, but I'm sure you've had internships. Pull from there. I am sure you found yourself in situations that required you to keep a level head. It's time to start pulling out those stories. Yep. It's time to pull out stories, not like, I don't want you to feel like you got to tell all sad stories, because the point of telling these stories is how you were able to overcome in these situations. Because that's what nursing is. Like, you're not going to have all the answers at the time, but how do you stay level-headed to think your way through situations before they get deadly and just dangerous, right? Mm-hmm. So in our lives, I'm sure a lot of us have confronted situations that seemed impossible, and yet you found a way out of it. So if we start with the positive, the positive is, what are your strengths? Exactly. What are your strengths that they can't find on the resume or your CV? Mm-hmm. Then here's some of the things that I've encountered in my life that will make me a great asset to this particular position, and have 1, 2, or 3 different stories you can pull throughout the interview that really showcase a situation that seemed overwhelming, especially, for new nurses, or wherever you were in your journey, and show what you had to do to outwit, outplay, and outlast, and come to a solution that was satisfactory. Yep. And then reiterate why you're the only choice that matters for this particular position. Because if you just rely on that resume or that CV, you'll sound like everybody else. Exactly. The second thing I would say in terms of building confidence is the more you do it, the better you get. So if you're in your first, I'm not expecting you to come in with all the confidence in the world, but that's why you need a trusted network that's going to remind you before you get on that call, before you get on that Zoom, before you get in that meeting, who are those that are going to put on your big girl panties, big boy briefs, and be like, you remember you did this, and the other. You be like, yeah, I surely did that. Remember this, that, and the other. You're like, you know what? I did do that. You know what? I can think this through. It's an interview. Mm-hmm. You're going to get better and better, and your confidence is going to come from that. But you definitely need those who are going to pull them coattails and say, I don't need you walking in there feeling some type of way. Rich homie Quan. I need you to walk in there knowing who you are, and afterwards, holler at us, because we want to make sure that you keep this positive energy. We know in the world right now that there are a lot of 6-7 figure earners who lost their positions. Mm-hmm. So how does that impact nurses? How does that impact those who are just starting their journey, or maybe in the middle of their journey and realizing they're in the wrong situation? Yep. It requires faith. It also requires you to be taking daily, weekly, monthly, and yearly assessment of what you're bringing to the table. What I brought when I was a killer pitch master, when I first started pitching, what did I have to my name? Nothing. And yet I was able to convince producers to put me on national television, where I walked away with $500,000 in 54 seconds. At 327 pounds, no Brazilian butt lift, no 6-pack abs. How did I walk into 14 national pitch competitions and win 13 against Harvard, Yale, Stanford, Columbia, cool tech companies? I know who I am and I know who I be. And I can dog walk circles around people who all you're going to give me is your school. All you're going to give me is, these people. I didn't know any of them, but I had a talent that they didn't have, the ability to connect, the ability to walk, to come from poverty and be in the ivory tower, the ability to make people feel comfortable all the way, the ability to see that there was a gap in the marketplace for over 40 million women, size 14 or larger, just like me, who couldn't find pretty underwear. And it wasn't because we couldn't afford it. It's because it wasn't created. Right. We were treated like dust. And I'm here to make sure, as good as I look, that you need to know we're out there and we need to have lingerie. Finally, what are some catchphrases or slogans you can use? I'm the female MacGyver of business. When have you ever heard somebody say that? Diva, plus size fashionistas. Think about that. So there are certain terms that nurses will use, terms of art in your profession. Maybe get out of those terms of art and change. When you change your language, you change the game. You change the employment game. You change the sales game. You change the client game. You change these sort of things. And so I think it's very important at this moment that y'all as nurses, new, intermediate, and experienced, there's still opportunities. But it resides in how you're putting yourself out there.
Yes.
And who in your network have you not tapped because you're afraid?
Yep.
Yeah, go ahead.
So many things there. I mean, talking about the confidence, right? So a lot of nurses will come to me like, well, how do I get confident? Like, how do I present? So like you talked about, practice, prepare, right? You can't just show up to an interview, even if you're experienced, and think that you're going to like kill it, right? Like you have to do some homework, right? And you have to be prepared. Something you talked about was kind of like, communication is huge, but also before you even speak, right? Your image, right? How you look and how you stand out is very important.
Come on.
So that's why I tell these nurses, please don't show up raggedy, number one. Don't show up in your scrubs to an interview. I don't care if you came from another place or whatever. And do not wear black, gray, or navy blue because everybody's going to be wearing.
Oh my goodness. I'm a former attorney, so I remember black and navy blue.
So I tell them, come with some color, some pop, so you could be memorable. Because before you even, I worked with a client recently. She went to a job fair, and I told her that. I said, get yourself something, a suit that is just like fire, that like
fuego.
So she had this nice, like maroon, like button down, like. She looked sharp. She looked like she could be interviewing
some realness. Yes.
So she said, Farah, oh my God. She's like, I went there. Everybody was wearing black. She said, I was the only one that stood out. She said, and she said, yeah, I felt more confident, right? So like the better you look, right, the more confident you are. So can you speak to that a little bit? Like,
allow me, because what always be pitching. So my 5th #1 best-selling book is called Rainmaking 101 from Day One: Packaging, Positioning, and Pitching.
Yes.
Exposed. Now, why did I write this book? And I'm going to go right to what you're asking about. Yep. I wrote this book because people only thought of me for pitching. But if you don't know there's 6 different types of pitching, you're like, I don't need pitching, or you don't understand it. So there's the elevator, the media, the investor, the sales, the speaker, and the interview pitch. How many people out there can tell you there's 6 different pitches? But the killer pitch master can't, because I slay all competition with a killer pitch. But I also wanted to expand beyond pitching to show that before we even get to pitching, what does packaging look like? So Queen, Dr. Farah, what you were talking about is packaging. Yeah. So for me, when I started to understand, I am an international professional speaker. I am a top Fortune 100 corporate sales trainer. You see me in black today, but you notice the hair, which is not, I change my hair like I change my underwear every day. Come on, we talk about it. Last night I had a different hair color when I was at the Savvy Ladies Gala, which I'm on the board of. Trust and believe, like people anticipate what I'm going to wear. They anticipate what I'm going to have on. And yes, I realize I'm in the speaking communications realm. But packaging is, what are you wearing to truly establish your brand? Not just wearing things just because they tell you in interviews the same same techniques that we were hearing in the 80s. You want to show personality. And for some of those who are introverts, hear me clearly. Your clothes your clothes can be black and you can have a brooch. You can have something that stands out about you. You can wear particular types of earrings. There could be something about you from your accessories that truly stands out.
Yep.
So packaging, clothes, accessories, hair, makeup. It might be for men, like it could be something like a pen. It could be something else, but you need something that truly stands out. So when they see it, they're like, oh, I automatically know something's different here. For your queen who wore the maroon suit, that mattered. So if you notice, I have on this earring, right? Where's the second one? I did not put it on because it's part of style.
Yep.
Part of my style. Another thing when it comes to packaging is if you have like, so your resume, your CV, how you come in, what's in your hand. Like
yes.
if you have a notebook or something, make sure it stands out.
Yeah, don't bring the raggedy bag. That's what I'm saying. You can't be looking good and you got a little.
And see, I'm the bag lady. So hear what she's saying. When I walk into that interview, my stuff got to sit on the side, sit right there where the secretary can, or the person who's letting me in, I'm going to put that over there. Because when I walk in, when I walk out, my shoes matter to me. My shoes even matter to me. Sitting up here, I'm looking at all the lipsticks I have over here, the eyeshadow, the colors. It matters because I'm bold and bright. So Queen Dr. Farah, I think this bears repeating. Your personal brand has to reflect in your professional way too. So because I like color.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Maybe as a nurse, you can't have all the colors on the sun, but in an interview, that's something totally different than how you're going to be when you're in the place. So show them that there's something a little different about you, that you come with a different energy. Maybe it matches their culture. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe you'll add something to the culture they've never had before. Exactly. But if you're going in to be generic, I wouldn't hire a generic person. I'm sorry, I wouldn't.
Right.
I wouldn't. And Queen, let's not forget, we need to get into positioning too. Because one of the things, when I said packaging and positioning, because life is a pitch, but you have to understand that if all you can do is pitch, which can be great, but packaging matters, positioning matters. As you're going to get that job, that position, that dream opportunity. Maybe you want to speak. Maybe you want to bring people to you in a different way that really will enhance the nursing education that you have. Some of y'all may not want to be nurses. Maybe y'all want to be trainers. Maybe I want to do what Dr. Farah is doing. Yeah, that requires a different mindset. And so that is what. So did y'all see that? That's packaging and that's positioning right there that she's showing you. She has a book.
Nurses making money moves.
Write books, huh? I'm sorry, I need to hear. What's the name of the book? What's the name of the book?
Nurses Making Money Moves.
By who?
Starting a business by yours truly, Dr. Farah. And y'all get all of Precious L. Williams's book. I'm telling you, I got every single one. And it's
I will pull up the Google to make sure they can get it my stuff.
Yes, so I'll drop all the links because I read all of the books and these are actually actionable things that you can do. And when you're talking about branding, I just recently spoke in Nashville about personal branding at a Nurse Boss Summit, which is an aspiring nurse entrepreneur conference. And a lot of nurses don't understand that you are a brand. You have a brand and you are the brand.
I'm trying to tell you, Queen.
Whether you know it or not, right? Whether you know it or not. So you have to, like you're talking about positioning and packaging. You don't want somebody else to tell your story and create the narrative, right? Especially if you're doing promotion or something like that. So you be your own storyteller. So you are like the queen of storytelling. So if you want to kind of talk a little bit about the storytelling aspect and how it relates to your brand.
Queen, yes. So when we're talking about storytelling, and I think we talked a little bit about this too, Queen, when we were talking about like in the interview process for what it is that you're seeking. So when it comes to storytelling, who are you talking to? Who are you talking to, and what would be great for them to know about you? Mm-hmm. So part of that happens from really mining your past for the things that are going to matter. So when I was on Shark Tank, and y'all know I'm gonna ride it out when it comes to Shark Tank. Let's be clear. When I was on Shark Tank, yes, I could talk about how great our lingerie is, sexy, stylish, and fashion forward. But I brought up Valentine's Day. Mm-hmm. And I literally said that even if you haven't had a Valentine's Day in years, like what if you, like it's Valentine's Day and you finally met the man or woman of your dreams? You know what time it is. It's time to find sexy lingerie to set the mood off nicely. But you weigh over 200 pounds. What's a big girl in the city supposed to do? And they were so blown. Because number one, I brought up a compelling story that people can relate to, even if you haven't had a Valentine's Day. They threw a woman over 200 pounds in there. What? Jigga who? Jigga what? And I was wearing a low-cut canary yellow peplum dress and Afro Extreme makeup because I wanted to show them, baby, I'm that confident to walk in here as a female MacGyver business. And then I cooked it up in a crock pot form. And when I was done pitching, they were so, I will never forget the look when Mark Cuban said, "You go, girl." And Robert Hershevik stood up and said, "Watching you is like watching a master at their craft." Baby, I'm 327 pounds. How dare I have the confidence to walk in there, tell a story about Valentine's Day, and then show them why I'm the female MacGyver of business. I am an attorney in the great state of New York, 13-time national elevator pitch champion, trained over 500 pitch champions. I've done a lot of things. I've been in billboards. I had a lot of things going for me.
Commercials,
all the way to living in New York City, which seems so impossible if you're not an entertainer, but I did it. Mm-hmm. So I wanted them to understand the depth and the breadth of me, but also I got stories for days. I got stories when people told me it was impossible, that I was too fat, too black, didn't have an Ivy League degree, but Sharks, I'm sitting right before you. You've seen the rest. Now you've heard the best. My name is Precious Williams. I am the proud founder and CEO of Perfect Girls Lingerie, the ultimate shopping experience for full-figure divas and plus-size fashionistas. Sharks, you've been served.
That's right. That's it.
Done. Like, so storytelling. There are people who said no. I said like Ariana Grande, next, thank you. Next opportunity. I'm on to the next. I don't care about the no's. Because when them yeses start coming, I'm going to leverage every yes. When it comes to storytelling, I didn't have LinkedIn, Google, Microsoft, Federal Reserve Bank, Intuit, QuickBook, HubSpot, Verizon. None of these people were my clients, but I believed I'd get there one day.
Yes, the audacity to believe.
The audacity to hope and to do it. And also, y'all, I was homeless 6 years ago. Yeah, so after Shark Tank, it was a very dark time because I lost the love of my life. I lost self-respect. People turned their back on me, and I wanted my life to end. Fast forward 6 years later, where y'all see me at? Y'all see me, I'm like, I'm everywhere you want to be. If you see me in Toronto, if you see me in Milan, Italy, if you see me at galas, trust and believe I was invited there and I'm paid to speak, unless I'm on the board or, whatever. But I want y'all to understand, I didn't know these opportunities would come, but it did come from confidence, the ability to sell a story, and the ability to embody everything that they said was wrong with me and use it as my secret weapon. So I want to say this too, Queen. Positioning, are you the Kia, the Lexus, or the Rolls Royce of your industry? And I want y'all to hear this as nurses. Mm-hmm. Kias, Lexuses, and Rolls Royces, they can always get you to point A to point B. All of them can get you from point A to point B. A Kia, listen, somebody give it to me, I'm going to take it. Where the driver at, though? The Lexus, you're going to pay for it. Trust. But that Rolls Royce is a flex. So you're going to pay a premium for that. So if you hang with just Kias all day long, maybe you'll get paid. Maybe you won't. If you're a Lexus, you're going to get paid. You're going to get some coins, some ducats. But to get to the Rolls Royce, you need to be with the Rolls Royces. And they're going to see it in you before you see it in yourself. So kids aren't going to be able to see it in you. They're just going to say you're changing. And a lot of us have to change our networks because the networks we need to be in are going to put us before people we never thought we could. That's why Dr. Farah knows what she know I'm about to tell the truth. I'm afraid of no one on stage.
I'm like, preach.
I don't care how big your name is. I don't care how many followers you got. I give 0 Fs. When I hit that stage, you're gonna see the difference.
I'm telling you,
I can't fraud my way to get here.
Listen, I don't even know what to say. You dropped so many gems, and if you guys are listening, you guys better be taking notes and send
this to other people. Be like, y'all, get it on this.
Yes, please reshare this and subscribe to the podcast. Listen, like you said, so many great things, and one thing that I wanted to highlight was in the short time that we spent together in New Jersey, our first meeting together, she came, we had lunch together. It was it was awesome. It was such a great day. And like I said, it was a business conference. And she said, Farah, when you stand up to introduce yourself, or you want to ask a question, right? Introduce yourself and state the business and things like that. Because most people will get up and, they're shy. They won't introduce themselves. But, do it in a way that like commands the room. And I never forgot that. I went to DC at this big nursing premiere of Everybody's Work, this documentary. And I was like, hey, I'm going to get up and ask a question. I'm going to introduce myself because I remembered what you told me, right? And I stood up, introduced myself, and said my business name. And then, for those who didn't know me, now they knew me, right? So talk about taking those opportunities, because a lot of even the speaking engagements that you get, right, are through, like you said, connections.
Yep.
Or when you're actually there making those relationships and connections, because networking, y'all, is where it's at.
Come on.
And like you said, people are speaking your name in rooms that you're not even in because of how strong your brand is and how well connected you are with people and how, you build these relationships.
So, Queen, honestly, when it comes to how far I've come, when I walked out of homelessness, I knew that there were certain things that had to change. I could not hang around people who told me that my dreams were impossible because I was older, or that no one would, mess with me, or I'm not worth anything. I had to truly say to myself, not only am I worth it, but I had to change my network. And I need y'all to hear me when I say this. My network had to change, because if it didn't, I was going to have to keep fighting my way amongst people who had already decided I wasn't worth it. I wasn't worth their time. So when I went into certain rooms, they didn't know my backstory. They didn't know I went through homelessness. They didn't know that I went through alcoholism, losing the love of my life and everything like that. And as you see, Queen Dr. Farah is putting some of the things that y'all can check out about me, my books, my video training programs where you can learn at your own pace. But there is the Pitching for Profit Masterclass, over 6 hours of getting them to say yes. And also how to get them to say yes repeatedly. And then Pitching for Profit, over 6 hours of other training on pitching with confidence. You actually get to see my original Shark Tank pitch that I submitted to Shark Tank privately because I never stood in line. Yeah, this is things that you can do. But to get back to, I had to change my network. So I went to spaces that I could not afford, but I knew by my communication style, once they heard it, they knew that they had nobody like me. They knew it. And so they ushered me forward without knowing my backstory, without caring that I was once homeless, that I was once an alcoholic, that my mother tried to murder me, all sorts of things. I'm 45 years old, living my best life. I ain't going back and forth with nobody, because the people in my network, some of them I can say, some of them I can't. Some of y'all never gonna see pictures with us.
Right.
We're in spaces together. The millionaires and the billionaires, that sounds great. And I want y'all to know, it is great. But do y'all know what's even better? Teaching women and men that the things you think make you unworthy are the very things that make you worthy. The target market. If I can tell you, we started with my power, that I am all of the things that I say I am. But we also know that there is heartache and heartbreak in life. And because of the heartache and heartbreak in life, I have a different appreciation. I'm not supposed to be here by my hand or my mother's. And yet, you see me globally as a Black woman from 327 pounds to 216, where I am today. I didn't lose weight to make other people feel comfortable. I live better. I breathe easier. I live on my own. And I've been on my own since I left homelessness. Think about that. How many people can say that? And my business has thrived despite the economy. So everything that you're hearing in the world that it can't be done, yes, it's a process. Yes, it's going to be harder. I'm not going to lie to you. My name isn't Tony Robbins or Brene Brown. My name is Precious Williams, and it will be respected.
Love it. Love it.
And like they fought to get to where they are, so did I.
Like you said, early on in your career, you had to put yourself in certain rooms to get certain opportunities. And it's great to connect virtually and online, but honestly, being in the room, in certain rooms and certain spaces, like you said, with different networks, can really elevate your opportunities and connect on a different level with people, right?
Right.
So like you said, that negativity part, it's so, because I think naturally people are just negative, like as humans.
Girl, these last 4 years have made a lot of people negative who normally aren't. I think we've seen 100 years worth of business problems, trauma, drama, and stress in 4 years.
Right. And there's a lot going on in the world, right?
Yes.
And it's stressful. So the thing is, I think gratitude obviously is one big thing. I know we talked about that, and like having affirmations, gratitude, and like really standing, I think, in your purpose, right? I shared this the other day. I was watching Deion Sanders, and he was like, I just love his positivity and his confidence.
Yeah,
and
me too.
He's like,
it's prime.
I don't got time. He's like, I don't got time, for all this nonsense because I'm on assignment, right? He's saying he's in his purpose and on assignment. So once you figure out your purpose and your direction, to all the nurses out there, you can be unstoppable and like relentless, right? If you only need you to believe in you, like you don't need anybody else to believe, right? And I think that's what your story is so powerful.
Yeah, I think also too, Queen, when I look at like a coach from or I look at athletes, right? Yeah. And then you'll have the commentators and those who have to pick apart everything. The one thing that I remain on is I'm actually doing the very thing you can't do. You can critique, you can say whatever you want to say, and that's your job. But until you step out on this field, you step in the trenches with speakers, coaches, consultants. You step on the field with those of us who've had the education. You can do the nice Cliff Notes version, baby. I'm the real deal.
Right.
So you can pick apart, I would have said this and that, but you didn't because you weren't hired to do that. Everything that I've done, I can tell you people said there's no way. I can listen to you who's never been in this situation, or I can trust a God who put that in my mind at 5 years old that it was going to happen. Now, did I think it would happen in my 40s? No. But I'm glad it did because I have a different piece about things. The need to impress. Who am I impressing today? Dr. Farah, do you ever see me? Oh, I made this on this, man. I'm flexing with my Gucci, my Balenciaga. Have you ever seen posts like that from me?
Not really. No, nothing like that.
Do you want to know why? I don't own Fendi, Gucci, or Balenciaga. I don't. I think that in terms of packaging, my clothes going to be nice. But I can also sprinkle in some rainbow originals. I can also sprinkle in some things you're not even ready for that just enhance an outfit.
Yeah.
My style has nothing to do with it being the most expensive. I have had things in storage that I couldn't afford. I don't have my degrees, my original degrees. I don't have them. I don't have a lot of things because, there were times where I couldn't afford my storage and they're gone. So my thing on material things is very different. If my little costume jewelry comes up missing, we can always get more. And that's just how it is. I've lost diamonds. I've lost, I've had my engagement ring. So like I've had a lot of things. And for me, that's not what matters.
Right.
So for me, I like to be cute. My clothes going to be right. It's going to be accented with some cute stuff. But the materials don't make me. AI can't make me. AI has never sit on stage with me and answered a question in place of me. Exactly. I think AI is a great tool for, getting started at whatever. But if everybody can use the same thing and it all sounds the same, you're going to run into the same problem. That's why people don't usually like people's pitches because they sound generic.
Yes.
So a bad bitch with a power pitch is probably not going to come out in an AI. Full figure diva and plus size fashionista, that's me.
Right.
So I think we can use these tools, but if all they need is to use the tool, why do they need you?
Exactly. And especially this is what I tell the nurses. Recently I made a post and I said, when you go to an interview, don't introduce yourself.
Come through.
Because when they say, tell me about yourself, I'm like, please do not introduce yourself. What everybody typically does is, hi, my name is Farah. I went to school here, blah, 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 boring. Right? I'm like, you got to flip it. Like, flip it on them. Give them something unexpected. Like, a couple of nurses I worked with had, they're like, actually never wanted to be a nurse. Right? Now, when you start with that, they're like, okay.
Hold up. It was like, wait. It's like I was scrolling. What she just say? Then you like this.
Right. Because
what? Did she really just what?
Right. Think about all the interviewers. If they're having back-to-back interviews and they have like 10, 15 people, they're tired of hearing the same thing. Like,
I know I'm tired already. So
right, like, I like to help people. Like, I'm a hard worker. Nobody.
Half y'all lying, but it's cool though. At this point, you're like, I just need a job, man. Not even listen. I'll say whatever I gotta say, and that's where the problem lies. Even with me, Queen, I'll be like, have you ever met a full-figure diva who took the business world by storm and won big? Yeah, I was 327 pounds, and I go into. You say full-figure diva and plus up? How does that even relevant? But I'm captivated. What do go on?
Yes.
And talk about that challenge, but as it relates to the position I'm gonna be in. Because let me tell you, a lot of these jobs today, you probably doing 3-4 people's jobs. So if you're a mom, you're in corporate America or whatever, you've already been doing these things. So start pulling out those things and drop the mic on them.
Right. And you
said no diligence, hard work, and all this stuff. I ain't got to tell you that.
Right.
And they might tell you that. But let me put some meat on those bones. Let me cook it up in a crock pot for you so you can really see. That's the bare bones. This the real deal.
Give them a little, like, some stories, some examples, something different. Because this is what you talked about. You can come in with the pristine, it's important to have a good resume to get to the interview stage. But, you can have a pristine resume with like Ivy League, this, that, high GPA, whatever it is, but you come in the interview and you don't even know how to connect with the interviewer. You can't even communicate effectively. So like they're going to be like, how are you going to communicate with people? At the end of the day, everything is a people business. It doesn't matter whether you're nursing and business or whatever. They look at that connection piece. So like, yeah, you could say, yeah, I got 10 certifications. I got this, I got that. But if you can't like simply speak to people and connect, you're not going to get the job. And if you can't articulate that worth, it's just so important. So I wanted to talk to you about, tell the people, like I tell people all the time, like I had somebody recently that was like, I'm interested in speaking, how can they connect with you if they want to learn more about how to speak? I know I put all the links in there.
Yeah. And I didn't give you all the links because I know this could be overwhelming.
Yeah.
So what I want you all to do is listen specifically, and then I'll make sure Dr. Farah has this. So being the killer pitch master and ultimate rainmaker, you can find me at our website, www.perfectpitchgroup.com. There, you'll also be able to take advantage. Oh, I'll even give you this. If y'all want free gifts from me, the first chapter of Rainmaking 101 from day one, and even my Make It Rain Like Snow in Your Business, go to www.perfectpitchgroup.com/free-gifts. That way you can get a little taste of what we're capable of at the Perfect Pitch Group. On LinkedIn, you can find me at Precious L. Williams, Rainmaking Speaker. And please tell me you came from Dr. Farah's podcast, because I get a lot every day and I'm like, I don't know people, and I need people to actually tell me where they saw me at. Otherwise, I won't accept you because I don't know who's trying to come in and what their thing is. On Instagram, we are at Perfect Pitch Group. Now let's get into the meat and potatoes that y'all were talking about. If you are seeking to truly learn how to become a rainmaking speaker, not just a speaker. I'm not a public speaker. I'm a professional speaker, meaning I get paid for what I do. Did you hear what I said? I'm not a public speaker. Those are usually politicians. I'm a professional speaker. We have on our website, you can look under Rainmaking 101 on our site. You can look under Fix My Pitch Individual. And you'll see some of the things that we have there. And Dr. Farah, I didn't want to put this out there, but what I will say is we're coming out with our Rainmaking Speaker Training Manual. Okay. So we're definitely going to have a flash sale, and we're going to have a Black Friday special, and then it will not be given out again unless you come into our actual training program. So if you just want a little taste of me, the training manual is very thorough. And you get a taste, and then you'll see if you really want this work from the Killer Pitch Master. It's 29 years of professional speaking excellence. We also are having our pitch template and our speaker one template bundled with it. So if you all are interested in that, you can also go to our website. You can go to the contact page, say, hey, Precious, put me on the waiting list, because my team is working on this as we speak, making sure that it's all in the right space. Let me know if you want to be on our waiting list, but I also think you should come to my LinkedIn, and in the message when you're trying to connect with me, say, hey, I'd like to be on the waiting list. And this tells you that even in business, there are things happening all the time, and you don't have all your perfect links all done because things are moving. And yeah, I just spoke in 6 different states in 1 different country. So I'm literally like getting everything together. But when it comes to rainmaking speaking, just like Rainmaking 101, I am committed to those who are truly ready to make it rain as speakers, and not the fluff and the BS. So I kind of taught this in a little bit along the way. But what I really started to understand is what people are getting in terms of speaker training all sounds the same. But to be a rainmaking speaker, that's a totally different thing. Totally different. And you're talking about someone who actually has 29 years, who was not trying to be a part of everything that everybody else was doing. I wanted to build it brick by brick, and then have the proprietary formula to show you how it actually is done. So even some people are saying no over here, but you over here getting it from low-hanging fruit you didn't even know existed in different industries. Isn't that nice? That's why the Killer Pitch Master stood out among speakers, because I had a track record of being able to pitch and get into some of the rooms in the world that you never would believe and get investments. But in terms of speaking, who wouldn't want to speak at Keller Williams, Coastal Realty? Who wouldn't want to be on private islands teaching? Who wouldn't want to be flued out like Instagram thotty around the world to teach and train? Who wouldn't want to do keynotes like it's nothing? Who wouldn't want to be paid to do virtual keynotes, virtual 30-minute trainings? Come on now.
Yep.
Yes. So if you want to be a rainmaking speaker, holla at your girl. And as our queen, Dr. Farah, had our ultimate pitch bundle and our pitching for profit masterclasses, I even gave you the coupon code for Experience Precious 100. It takes $100 off of those. Originally $247, now they'll be $147. And if you treat me right, I might give you a code. We can make it $47. But anyway, I don't want to inundate y'all with too much. But if you want to become a rainmaking speaker, holla at your girl. Connect with me on LinkedIn, Instagram, anywhere where Dr. Farah is sold. You're going to find me there too. And in order for life to be a pitch, you have to know how to play the game and then change the game, period.
Yes, guys. So definitely connect with Precious. And like I said, she's speaking everywhere, like speaking in Canada. I know you spoke in Toronto.
I did at the women's equality. Yes.
Yeah. So you're always speaking. So, and I wanted to say thank you as well for those. If you want to talk a little bit, because a lot of nurses are, there's some nurses that want to go into business. And this is something that I talk about a lot, is that nurses should consider starting a side hustle to make, extra money.
Right.
And, there's so many different resources out there for nurses to start, because we know then sometimes in academia, we're not paid that well, or like different things like that. And we have so much intellectual property that we could share, that we could make money off of. So definitely, if you're a nurse out there that's an aspiring entrepreneur, you just want to start a side hustle, definitely connect, because there's money to be made out there. And you might think that you have to do something elaborate, but you don't. You really don't. You can simply just tutor nursing students, right? Like I do career coaching because that's what I love. But even consulting, there's so many healthcare organizations looking for consultants. There's a lot out there. So what are your tips for aspiring entrepreneurs? I know that you put me on to NABO. I didn't even know about NABO.
National Association of Women Business Owners has been good to me. Yes. And all of us, trust. National Association of Women Business Owners, the dames, You know how you're going, my mind is so glowing, but Business Boost Society under Jackie Taylor. Yeah, so I think you should list these, Queen. National Association of Women Business Owners. The Dames is second. Number 3 is Business Boost Society. And you can check that out because I'm actually the Killer Pitch Block ambassador. So I come in like a wrecking ball when it comes to pitching. I think that people have experienced a lot of great work with National Speakers Association. I am not a member. However, I've been paid to speak at different chapters, which is very interesting, right? I think National Speakers Network can work for some people. Another thing I want y'all to think about in terms of like publishing things. I've worked with Sharon Monet with penlegacy.com. So all of my 5 number 1 best-selling books were under the publishing house of a Black woman who wrote about me first for CNN in 2015. So imagine my first book comes out at 40 and there's a billboard in Times Square with my book. I could not believe something I knew would happen when I was 5. There definitely are other resources, and I apologize for, Luminary. So I've been a member almost 5 years, and they're headquartered in New York, but they have digital platforms. They also even have grants given by Visa, American Express, and all of them that allow you to become digital members for free. And it has all these programming and everything. I'm OG, so I get to go to a lot of their Bentley, Audi events, their private events that have really made a difference. And you get to meet with the movers and shakers, whether they're at Unilever, Shea Moisture. They do events for all different types of LGBTQ, Black women business owners, Latina women business owners, Asian Pacific Islander, however you want to identify. We do this on the yearly. Shout out to Kate Luzio, Savvy Ladies, which I'm on the board of, for financial confidence and financial empowerment for women. We just had our gala last night. And so we have a free hotline if things change in your life. You need budgeting help, investing advice. If you need to, we have a podcast, the Power of the Ask podcast, where we interview the movers and shakers in financial services and entrepreneurship, and they tell their real stories, not some fake puff piece for media. They're going to tell the real truth of how they actually got there, the successes, the failures, the family trauma, drama, and stress, and yet they made it, because we need more stories like that.
Yes.
And finally, please keep coming back to the Nursing Dose with Dr. Farah. You've got to keep coming back here, because if you're a nurse aspiring in it, experience, you're going to learn things from experts who may not be nurses, but who've been able to dominate in their field. So thank you so much, Business Boost Society, for putting the link. It says LinkedIn user on mine.
Oh yeah.
I love tutoring for nursing students. A great side hustle for full. Oh yes, tutoring for come through, y'all. Y'all coming through. There's so many coming. Oh,
yes.
So anyway, what you can also do for Dr. Farah is, if y'all have heard some of the questions and you think you can answer some of them, put those answers in the chat and share with your network. Dr. Farah's podcast, The Nursing Dose, grows as we grow. So make sure that more people are watching. Tell them why they should watch. All these sort of things. It's going to make a difference. And the way we grow is by asking you all to help us grow. Help us grow. If you like what you heard today, I'm one of the guests. Imagine the others. You're going to come back and get this work. So when I tell you about all of these organizations, a lot of them have so many amazing opportunities. And they may not be all over business news and stuff like that.
Right.
Let me tell you. Stuff you ain't never heard of that helps you grow. You think I learned all of this on my own? Business Boost Society, NABO, Dames, Luminary, Savvy Ladies, they've all taught. And some of the greatest people you'll ever meet in this life are connected to women who are at the superstar level. And when they see talent, they're going to pull you up if you're connected. So when Dr. Farah was talking about your network, and I'm talking about pitching for profit, which is one of my third book, I'm teaching you how to tell your network to do business development for you. So pitching is one thing, Rainmaking is another. but how does your network show up and hear things for you that push you in spaces around the world? So if you don't want to be a nurse in the traditional sense, maybe you could be coaching, consulting, maybe you could be speaking. All of these can put dollars and cents in your pocket. Thank you all so very much. My name is Precious Williams. I am the proud founder and CEO of the Perfect Pitch Group, and I want to see you all in my inbox, my LinkedIn, my IG. And if you want to be on the waiting list for our Rainmaking programs, our bundles and stuff like that, thank you. Dr. Farah, I know we were supposed to do 30, but we gave them an hour. What you think about that?
Yes, we did. And everybody, please follow Precious. Get the books. I'm telling you, the biggest thing that I've learned in my short 3 years is that investing in yourself is the best ROI. The best return on investment is professional investment in yourself and in your business. And like,
right. And as your trusted network who you should be investing in. And since y'all trust Dr. Farah, there's a lot of people who try to sell you something. I'm going to tell you, watch the track record, ask around. So if you heard it from Dr. Farah, get up on that, because she's not going to steer y'all wrong, because y'all going to come looking for her.
Yes, and I love my nurses out there, and I want nurses to be making money moves, you know. So
making money moves.
Making money moves. So if you're a nurse interested in business and you want to just start, but you're not sure how, go to the website, Nurses Making Money Moves. Go to nursefarah.com. I'm going to throw that in there, self-promote.
Why not?
Love you, Precious. You're going to have to come back on another time.
You know how we do. It ain't nothing.
How was the Alicia Keys event? I know we talked about.
Oh, my God. So a celebrity chef invited me. And when I say that Alicia Keys event was, first of all, it was a Black Theater United gala, and they were honoring 3 amazing Black women for their Broadway success, whether as conductors, whether as putting things together as producers. And Alicia Keys got the final honor of the night. So it was a big fundraiser to raise money for those coming into theater, whether they're creating wigs, set design, all stuff you don't even think about. Right. I was so proud to sit there with Chef Tommy V. And she is the host of the Stay a While podcast. Check her out, Chef Tommy V, Stay a While podcast. And when I got there and I'm looking at all these celebrities, I'm not even talking about, we had Black glitterati celebrities from theater, film, reality. We had white celebrities there from film, theater. Brooke Shields was in the bathroom, y'all. And when I told her, you look better in person, and you already look good on screen, but in person, yes. And I didn't ask for pictures with, I saw Candy and her husband, Candy and Todd, Burris. Burris. I could not believe. I saw all of these people, and I had to say to myself, Precious, you're the celebrity of your own brand.
Yep.
So I'm going to recognize a celebrity in them, that they worked hard, but I don't want any pictures. I want to just say in this moment, the true joy of knowing who you are. And it also makes people look at you differently when you're not trying to ask them for anything. So thank you to Chef Tommy V. Thank you to Alicia Keys. I thought I knew her prolific bio, but she had 7 or 8 Tony. She had the most Tony Award nominations.
Wow.
And think about Hell's Kitchen, where she grew up, where she became Alicia Keys. Think of her in music, piano, all of that. And now Broadway. How many people do we know on Broadway who've been as successful?
She's then you talented.
Candy and Todd Burris, Tucker. They had The Wiz, which I saw on Broadway. Dr. Shakina Williams, thank you, from Babson College Be Well program. And she is over the Center for Women's Entrepreneurial Leadership at Babson College. Do you notice why I keep throwing names out there? Because that tells you that I'm connected in the network. So Alicia Keys blew my mind, just as well as the other 2 honorees, and to sit in that space. And I said, God, I would not be here if someone did not find value to have me in this space to see what is possible still for me at 45, 50, 55, 60. Shout out to Alicia Keys. Shout out to Swiss Beats. Shout out to Alicia Keys' mom. Shout out to everyone who fundraised so they met their goal and exceeded it. And I even contributed and donated. So when I tell you, when you're in the right rooms, things just become much easier.
Listen, I miss New York. Okay, concrete jungle.
But let me tell you, it was amazing. And again, it was a fangirl moment looking at everybody. but it's also this moment of, I lived long enough to not have to post pictures of everyone to justify my existence. I was in the room, and just like Beyonce, I was here.
I was here. And quickly before we end, I called Precious that day, and I had Alicia Keys playing.
Yes, it didn't even know I was going.
It was the funniest thing. But again, I know we gotta go, but I want to say thank you so much. Like from the bottom of my heart, I'm so glad that we've met and that we've developed this friendship. I appreciate you so much. I always, hype you up and tell everybody about you because you're awesome. You're the real deal. And again, thank you for dropping all the gems. Please connect with Precious. Thank you again, and have a blessed day.
Bye, everybody. Thank you.
Where the money reside? Where the money reside?
Where the money reside? Where the money resides? Bye, everybody.
Bye. Stay on for one moment.
Okay.
Okay.